You know what's funny? So I'm CFO of the household, and I gave my husband the title CEO. We have a debate of who has more power.
That's no joke in our house. I come up with great ideas. They get revised and made better, and that's the idea we go with.
So the CEO is Sarah,
Yeah.
and she actually has more power. Got it.
And then I'm the CFO. I come up with the funding solutions, and then that doesn't decide if we do the idea or not. I built a spreadsheet when we got married. That spreadsheet now has 19 tabs because we've been married 19 years. And it has been filled in every single year, every single month. It is down to the penny of everything we've spent in 19 years. All right, so being married, talking about that, who pays the bills in your house?
Me. Absolutely me.
Has it always been you?
Yes.
Would you ever consider switching?
No. There's that was short, rapid fire.
Yeah, that was not a question of doubt right there.
No. Like, Alex is going to be so mad at me when I tell this story. But Alex is more like...
All right, before we kick off today's episode, we do have some news to share about Playbook of the Wealthy. So due to business and life, we are going to stop recording new episodes. And it's likely going to be the end of the podcast. Thank you to everyone who watched, listened, shared, provided feedback. It has meant a lot to both of us. Also, a big thank you to Heather. She has made this podcast better than it could have ever been, pushed me to places I never thought I'd wanted to go, and she's made it wonderful. So we won't say goodbye, but we're going to say thank you for being part of the journey.
And you know I have to say something back. What this taught me, Dave, is like, one, I feel like I have a friendship that I will have forever now. Boy, do you get close when you work on something like this, right? And then two, you taught me something I really didn't think I could work well with people. I'm an extremely high achiever. I can delegate, but working with someone as a business partner is an entirely different element. And you taught me that it is possible. So I am extremely grateful for this. And to our listeners, and all the things. And what an amazing last episode we're doing. We're talking about our money.
Do you have one more word to say to people?
Toodles?
If you've ever wondered how financial advisors handle their money behind the curtain in their house, we are ripping that curtain open and we're showing you exactly what we do with our money. Buckle up. Welcome back to another episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. My name is Dave Grant. My co-host is Heather Townsend. We are telling you everything we do with our money. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, this one's going to be a little different than our regular episode. Long form questions about what we're doing. Then it's rapid fire. And then we're really going to dive into some honest, open, rip your heart out and just lay it on the floor so everyone gets to know us better.
I stopped at long form. I'm like, what are long form questions?
Longer.
Okay.
Short form would be shorter. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
So the first one, how has our money behavior changed over time? You go first.
This one is big for me, actually, because I'm still sitting in it right now.
Okay.
Heather, granted, I started investing when I was 19, so I was smart with money from the get-go. Keep in mind my story of envelope, save thousands of dollars, convince my dad I can have a BMW at 16, right? So this is, I've had good money behavior most of my life. Never had credit card debt. Let's start with that. But when I was 22, because I had started investing when I was 19, 22, 23, 24, I met Alex at 25, my current husband. So let's start that.
Current. Who's the next husband?
No next husband. That was really bad to say that. Okay.
Oh,
so,
Alex, I hope you're watching.
I guess because I'm thinking through like 22, 23, 24, I was dating other men. So that's probably where my mind was going. So my husband now. So point being is, I would take like big swings of risk.
Okay.
Like my rent in New York when I was living there was a humongous piece of like way beyond our typical 25% of take home.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's fine. I'll live on peanut butter sandwiches. Put as much through. I work really long hours at the CPA firm. I'll put my groceries through. I figured out all these workarounds, right? And then I remember I got my CPA bonus and I was like, I'm going to go buy some Louboutin boots. Like, you know, I went into Bergdorf's and just like, I bought really expensive things, like a Burberry trench coat at the age of 22 that I'm wearing today, by the way. But I like really swung for the fences. I just did big, wild stuff. But I think that it was because it was just me. And I was the one who had to deal with the consequences if something went wrong. As I got married, now my husband has very different money stories than I do. He grew up, I don't like to use the word poor, but
broke is a joke.
It's not my story to tell, but definitely not, you know. And so he is much more cautious with money. Like he has a deep, deep fear of ever running out of money.
Sure.
He never wants to go back. I can't relate to that, but I can understand, right? Yeah. I'd say when I want to swing for the fences, it makes him very, very nervous. And so I've had to adapt my ways of being less risk aggressive, like risk. What is it? Risk
averse.
More risk averse then, I guess. Risk.
Less risk adverse.
I have
more.
Yeah, I can't swing for the fences as much. Let's say that. Because I don't, it affects him and I have to keep that in mind. It's not just me. And then when I had kids, it's even bigger.
Sure.
Because it's like, okay, me and my husband, if we have to like cut back or something, that's fine. We can deal with the consequences. We're the adults. We made the choices. We can take the consequences. It's not fair for the kids to take the consequences, right? Like that's how I view it.
Yep.
So I think I don't swing for the fences very much anymore.
Interesting.
Like I'm not as, now I probably still take some risk because I know that there's risk. I'm still investing. I'm still very aggressive in my brokerage account. Like I don't mean that way, but I mean, I told my husband when we moved to London, I was like, we're living in Chelsea. He's like, babe, people that work for an accounting firm don't rent flats in Chelsea. Chelsea is the most expensive neighborhood in London, by the way. I was like, I don't care.
Talking to a British person.
So you understand. I was like, I don't care. We're going to do it. And he let me take that risk. And it was the right risk because we ended up meeting amazing friends and I got a job and it all worked out.
You know when I said it's a long form question?
This is why?
This is a really long answer.
Well, okay, all I'm saying is I've changed my ways with risk taking the more people I've added on my life and my payroll. How about that?
Great. My money behavior, I am and always will be a spender. Ever since I got my allowance as a kid, I would be planning how to spend it.
You and I are opposites.
Absolute. It is ingrained in me to spend all the money I have. If I get a gift card as a gift, I am planning how to spend that the same day. My wife has gift cards that are over a year old in her purse. So, needless to say, when I lived my whole life as a spender, just planning on how to spend money as best and as well as I could, even before I got the money, and then I married my wife who is a habitual saver. When we don't even need to now, she will try and find the sales to go and get something cheaper. I'm like, honey, the full price was still far too low than my expectations were. So it's been difficult getting married because I've had to check myself again and again. And sometimes that checked behavior comes out and I have to explain why I spent the money on something. It doesn't happen too often, but you can't control the beast inside all the time.
I really wonder, I know we have so many questions, but I wonder what was different about your childhood versus mine that like led you to be, I wonder if it was your childhood or if it's just something you're like born with.
My dad is a spender.
Okay.
He's also very controlled in his spending, but it would be the timing of it. I still remember he would go in like the New Year's sales and restock his suits for work for the whole year. So he'd come back with, 5 or 6 suits. And I'd be like, wow, like that must be really expensive. No, he bought them in the sale. So you got one, like buy one, get one free.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
So I'm like, dude just bought 5 suits. They weren't custom suits. They were off the rack suits. Like I had no idea about the money. I just saw the behavior. So now I'm like, wow, could I buy different colorways of Air Jordan 1 lows and keep them in a clear box so I can see exactly which one is in my house? Yeah, so I do it. All those different things. But I think, like you said, being married, having children should force you to change your behavior if it is not aligned to the best interests of those people. And so I've tried to adjust.
Something that's interesting that my best friend is reminding me, though, is she's like, you might have swung too much the other way. Like some of Heather has to come back and swing a little bit again.
True.
So I've been trying to do that in the last few years. All right.
So being married, talking about that, who pays the bills in your house?
Me. Absolutely me.
Has it always been you?
Yes.
Would you ever consider switching?
No. There's that was short, rapid fire.
Yeah, there was not a question of doubt right there.
No. Like, okay. Alex is going to be so mad at me when I tell this story. But Alex is more like willy-nilly about his money, let's say, when we first met. And he had to do cash flow projections. Granted, he made way fluffing more than me when we met.
Mm-hmm.
But, he also spent, and he would do cash flow projections of, okay, my paycheck's coming in here. This is when I'm going to cover this credit card bill. This is when this bill was. I just had money saved and planned, and I just paid the bills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live that way.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in our house, I pay the bills. Granted, half of them are on auto pay, so it doesn't take much effort.
Yeah.
I started taking the CFP designation immediately when we got married for fun, because I didn't even realize it was a job yet. And then I built a spreadsheet when we got married of all our expenses and the money that we had coming in. Being married, there wasn't much money coming in. Granted, there weren't many things to get paid. That spreadsheet now has 19 tabs because we've been married 19 years. And it has been filled in every single year, every single month. It is down to the penny of everything we've spent in 19 years. Granted, it'll be soon to be tab 20 because we'll be married 20 years this year.
Wait, you guys are doing something for your anniversary, right?
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
It almost came down to I run the finances in the house because that's what I do as a day-to-day job. So it's just like a natural overflow of what I do. But it was also part of the behavior change. I needed to figure out where the money was going so I could remember not to spend money in that area because we'd already spent the money in that area. So it just kind of was that natural behavior change.
So you pay the bills.
I do.
And I'm guessing you manage the investments, all of it.
Well, the Grant family are clients of Retirement Matters.
So same with the Townsends.
Yes.
You know what's funny? Alex and I have a joke. I don't know if you've created this joke, but so I'm CFO of the household and I gave my husband the title CEO. But we have a debate of who has more power.
That's no joke in our house. I come up with great ideas. They get revised and made better. And that's the idea we go with.
So the CEO is Sarah.
Yeah.
And she actually has more power. Got it.
And then I'm the CFO. I come up with the funding solutions. And then that doesn't decide if we do the idea or not.
Okay.
All right. Housing.
Mm-hmm.
What are your long-term goals for housing?
Alex and I definitely are aligned on this. We are going to get a bigger house.
Mm-hmm.
We thought it was 5 years. We're starting to think it's sooner.
Okay. Didn't you just do a big remodel, right?
And then, this is why I like talking to people. Even as a financial advisor, I think, I'm so into my clients that I don't always think about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was my real estate agent, or I don't know, I was at some real estate agent speaking thing and they were talking about like, well, it is true. In like 5 or 6 years, probably what I did to the house won't be as on trend. I don't want to say it is trendy, but like
Sure.
the trend will change in the next 5 or 6 years. The optimal price for my house is probably within the next year or two
Okay.
of the remodel because it's so current. It's almost ahead of its time, I feel like, right? And so, but I'm still like, when do I want to take on that bigger mortgage?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answer of that yet.
Wild.
I know, but we are. I mean, I don't want the girls sharing a room in middle school.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
that either means, I mean, technically we could stay in the house. I could get an office outside and move my home office, but I like having a home office.
Yeah.
So TBD. You?
This has been a moving target the last year because we were like, okay, we'd love to have an extra bedroom, maybe an extra workspace, a little bit bigger for the kids to have all their friends over because that's what we're seeing with people with larger houses in our friend group. But the housing market is drastically different since when we purchased our house and refinanced our mortgage. Numbers wise, our mortgage right now is 6% of our take home pay.
I know now you said this and now I want to calculate mine. It's probably something just like yours. It's ridiculously
It's wild.
Yeah.
And then I look at it and it would become 25%. I'm like, that metric isn't bad. The 25% of your
No.
take home pay.
It's not.
Comparing it to 6 makes me feel like I am being so irresponsible with money and upgrading a house. Granted, where we want to buy a house, they rarely hit the market because it's so freaking hot in that town because the schools are so good. And then people rarely move. Like you've got boomers living in houses that people with young children want to be in. So it's wild that there's not many people moving, not many houses hitting the market. So now we are remodeling the house we're in. We will likely move into our next house being a retiree empty nester house.
Well, and I've said this to you. We were talking about this. What's interesting about you, we're in very different phases in our life. You have a boy going to school in what, a year and a half? So one room is not going to be, like, you're going to get an extra room back, except for when he's home from college. So, you know, your whole need to get a bigger house, you're actually getting humans leaving your house. I'm about to have humans that are growing
bigger.
and going to have friends over
and
all of these things, right? So, you know, you're like, if you were a client, I'd be like, hey, see how this actually phases out, or get a house with that in mind, because you're about to have one human less in your house.
I think our goal is going to be, let's move to probably not a bigger house. It may be slightly bigger, but it's nicer.
I like that for you.
And then it's going to be, well, I would expect my business to grow a lot by that, given the amount of effort and money that's going into it now. Then it's going to be, well, then I want that retirement house here, and I want the second house in another location. They're both going to be bigger. They're both going to be better. My expenses for housing are going to go way up. And I'm okay with that. Does the CEO of the household agree? We've yet to have that conversation. And so whatever she says goes.
So the CEO of my household, he was like 5 or 6 years. We're going to wait as long as possible to get on this bigger house. I've been saying, I think it's sooner. He needs to like marinate on things, very similar to you. So now I've been sending him links of houses that I like to just start getting the wheels turning, because that's how it works. You know, when you've been married with someone for so long, you kind of know how to. Now he was walking the other day, he's like, it might be sooner. I was like, Do
you know I do that with Sarah with houses in Arizona? I've been doing that for about 2 years. We're not planning on moving for another 15. That's how long my runway has to be. And then it will turn into, oh, I like that house. Let's go see that house. I'm like, yep. But then when she likes it, decision made. All righty. Thoughts on rental real estate? What are you going to do in your situation?
It's another one of like how I said with my firm, like TBD. I'm marinating on this. If I did it, it would be something that we could also use as a family. So that to me is Park City, or I'm starting to think about long term. Do I want a lake house in Minnesota where the girls' cousins are, that they play with? I mean, we have a great family there. I'm so lucky. And I would love to give a gift to the family that they now have a lake cabin on the house in Minnesota. But if we did that, then it would affect our upgrading our home in Arizona.
Sure.
There's, of course, tax advantages, all of that. And entering in Park City or a cabin in Minnesota, these are not small numbers. So I'm TBD. I think we will probably just end up upgrading our first house, because I also am realistic. I don't have the capacity to deal with another business. It is another business. Even if you get a manager, I was even talking to you in the car, like if someone rates my Airbnb a star 4, that is going to bother me. I'm going to be upset about it.
I'm going to remodel the kitchen so the next one gives you a 5.
Yeah, like I will have another thing to focus on. And I think to be successful, you have to really narrow your focus. And the business and my kids are my babies right now.
Sure. Yeah, I have no intention of adding rental real estate into our investment portfolio. It's the headache factor. And also, if I want to invest in real estate, I would do it in the least headache-free way and just go buy another real estate fund. Tax advantages be damned. Like, I don't care about that when it relates to, is this going to improve the quality of my life?
And I should say that there are a few real estate funds I watch that maybe if I wanted to diversify, I would do that. But I think, again, I go back to using my money for happiness, and I think I'd get way more happiness from a lake cabin in Minnesota or a place in Park City. So that's where I like to then stop. And then...
But are we talking rental real estate, or are we talking a second home? Or you're going to use it for both?
I would rent it out when we're not using it, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because I also want the tax benefits.
All right, let's talk about kids. Allowance and the money that they get. I'll kick off. Kids got allowance when they were younger.
What age?
They probably started around 7 or 8.
Okay, so I'm not behind the 8 ball yet.
No. I mean, I think learning the concept of money is interesting. And so we started with, okay, we're still going to buy all your stuff for you. Like, your allowance is going to be world changing. So here's $5 a week, and you're going to get it in singles. Because then we set up a system where we had 3 jars, and it was a give, a save, and a spend.
I want to do that too.
So you've got And they're all mason jars. Like, it was off Etsy. So $1 has to go in the give, $1 has to go in the save, and then $3 goes in your spend. So you can plan out, okay, if I'm going to save, if I get to $20, where does it go? If I'm giving, maybe the kids are looking out for things that they want to give to. And the save is always the fun thing of, oh, now I got 3. Oh, next week I got 6. Or then I got 9. And then I got some birthday money. And it just kind of adds up. They're still doing it now when they're 16 and 13. But then it just becomes a fun way of them to plan how they're going to spend their money. Now it becomes different because they're getting more independent. They now have a copy of my credit card. So they're authorized users. It's in their phone case. Don't rob my children. Don't take their phone because there's a credit card in there. But now if they know that it's going to be extra expenses, they've already got a credit card in there that they know they can spend. If they think it's a question mark, they know to text.
This is how much trust I had with my parents. I had an unlimited credit card in college. How scary is that? I now put myself into my, because it was an Amex, so they don't have limits. I had an unlimited credit card in college. I mean, I would get in trouble if I spent too much, but it's interesting. I'm I really am curious about how my kids are, because I was very smart with money, that my parents knew I saved and had all these behaviors.
Yeah.
So that's why then they trusted me with their debit card or their credit card. I don't know yet how Sloan and Sophia are going to be with money.
Well, let me caveat, it gets different when they get a job. Now all the expenses I paid for, they're expected to pick up most of them. If you're going out with friends...
So they have to pay you back.
Well, now they have the debit card that's also in the phone case that is tied to their bank account. So Eli is probably doing this more because he has a summer job and saves the money and spends throughout the year. But if you're going out with friends, I'm not footing that bill. You've worked, you've got money in your bank account, you're paying that. If you want to buy 2 burritos at Chipotle because you feel extra hungry, I'm not financing 2. I might pick up 1, but if you're with a group of friends, buy whatever you want.
Yeah.
Out of your money.
It's interesting. When I got a job as a kid, I did it so I would have extra spending money because my parents would still cover everything. It was I think they did a really good job about it because it was then I got to learn the benefits of making money.
Yeah.
So my parents still covered my gas, all of this, but if I wanted to go shopping, if I wanted something extra, because I worked, I got the benefit of it.
Nice.
So it tied this really good behavior to me of, ooh, I work hard, I earn money, and there's a benefit to it.
Mm-hmm.
So shocker, I'm really motivated, right? And ambitious, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I want to read this book called The Opposite of Spoiled by Ron Lieber. That's on the book. I think he was the one who talked about these money jars, the envelopes. I don't know if he came up with it, but...
He did. I stole it. Okay.
So I love that method, but I think he even goes farther into why you shouldn't do chores. Why you don't give allowance for chores is actually a family contribution. Anyways, I want to read this book. That's on my list in the next year. We will probably do a whole podcast episode knowing how Heather reads books and what everyone has to go through as I discover these things.
Yeah.
But Heather wants data and then implements. I want real stories. So that's on my list to figure this out. But I want my girls will know we will have money conversations around the table. Absolutely. It's not going to be a taboo topic in my household.
We're very open in our house. Mm-hmm. All right. Where do you save your money?
I mean, everywhere. It's Heather. So you got to be more, do you mean investment accounts? Do you mean savings accounts? Do you mean exactly where?
Run us through it. Where do you save your money?
So I have an automatic transfer going for property taxes and home insurance and an extra amount from my distribution for my business to go to Ally, where the buckets are high yield savings. So that's for extra travel money and extra housing costs on top of our emergency reserve. Twice a month when Alex gets paid, every time he gets a raise, I up the amount, but it goes to our brokerage account. Mm-hmm. And then kind of through our distributions from my business will be, okay, let's do backdoor Ross. Let's do the girls 529.
Yeah.
I'm considering actually adding the Trump accounts for my kids this year. We'll see how that goes. So we do backdoor Ross. We do 529s. Don't overfund them. We do money to brokerage. I do a 401k, max out on the employee side. Can't do the employer too much now because I have employees. Mm-hmm. And then Alex maxes out his 401k and we max out HSA.
Awesome. So everywhere.
Like I said, I was do you really want this? Yeah.
So ours is different. 529s are done. We're done saving for college, which was a little bit earlier than we thought, but pleasant situation there. It's different as of this year and next year. We have stopped saving everywhere. We are putting all the money into our house. Also, because we are debt sensitive as a household, we want to cash flow this as much as possible and get out of the situation of having a balance on a HELOC or whatever balance it may be. Because then by probably 12 to 18 months from now, we want to be done with the whole house remodel. That house remodel is going to be 2/3 of the house, inside and out. So it's a lot of money in a quick amount of time, which we still have problems with because it's going into something that we're not going to see the benefit of. It's going to be nice to live in, but it's all a liquid. Once we get out of that, Sarah has a very healthy pension.
I know you're in such a different situation than like what we would say 95% of Americans. Like that pension, it changed it. Like we had to talk about it because you were like Heather.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird to think about.
I mean, and probably when she retires and is eligible, so that's probably going to be 11 years, we could likely live off her pension.
Alone, right? Just
Yes.
like alone, which is insane.
And then the money that she would get from another job, because she'll be in her mid-50s when she retires from teaching or being an administrator, that money and all of my business money is excess.
You have a solo 401k. You did do one,
I do,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So fast forward 18 months, we will probably still do savings to the solo 401k, may or not max it, because again, I don't want to overload that tax deferred portion of our portfolio because all of our pension is taxable too. We also are likely going to have inheritances somewhere down the line. The majority of that is tax deferred in IRAs and 401ks. We've already been given access to what that would be in terms of
That's
viewing
so
it.
nice. This is what I talk about though, with like when we give these examples, you are a perfect example. Like I'm so happy that you and Sarah's parents had those conversations with you because now you get to make your life better while you have your boys at home now.
Yeah.
Versus your 70s and you oversaved. I'm so happy for you.
So our savings is more than likely going to go into taxable brokerage. We will pay a heftier tax bill now, but it also gives us that flexibility of cash flow in retirement, but also the bigger real estate goals that we have. Down payments need to come from somewhere, and that's going to be it.
That's Alex and I. We're actually too heavy on, because Alex is older than me, right? By 14 years. I mean, his 401k, which you did make me feel better about it. You're like, Heather, still, it's this. Like, it's like, what, you take 4%, that's the RMD, basically. But we are more lopsided in retirement accounts, and I want more in brokerage.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Stupidest thing that you spend money on or have spent money on in your life?
You asked me this question. I couldn't come up with one. I have a regret.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember where I said I swung for the fences?
Mm-hmm.
On Alex and my first home purchase, I wanted a house that, you're going to laugh now, but that was $150,000 more. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, we were still living in Washington. Alex didn't have a job in Arizona yet. We didn't know if we could move, but we bought our Arizona home as a second home.
Yeah.
I still think about the house. I didn't push hard enough. And I regret that we didn't buy that house because we would have had an extra bedroom and a half right now. And that house would have been worth probably an extra $1 million right now.
Regrets 2020, though. Could have been a number of different scenarios.
I
Both
know.
could have been unemployed, living off benefits.
Exactly. And I mean, I guess this is the balance of marriage. Our marriage are making him uncomfortable or stressed because at that time he was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
I was about building my business. Like, you don't know if the business is going to take off, like all of these things. And so the pressure was on him. And so, you know, I think being a breadwinner, that was valid. I don't think he wanted that stress. But now, looking in hindsight, knowing how things worked out, so mad. Like, because at that time, interest rates were ridiculously low.
True.
I mean,
All right, mine's going to be a doozy because it goes back to when I was in the spender mode. So,
you're still in the spender mode.
I bought a car on a credit card. It was a beater. I think it was like $1,200. And the only reason I bought that is so I could drive to see Sarah when we were dating so that she didn't have to come and pick me up all the time. Such a manly feeling when you can go and drive to see your girlfriend versus her coming and picking you up. Felt like a boss. It was all blue exterior, blue interior, suede interior.
What car was this?
It was a Cutlass Supreme.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
I don't even know.
It didn't look great. It didn't work great. It didn't sound great.
Is this what is the brand of the car?
I don't even know.
Oh my gosh.
But then before that, I used my student loans to travel. I lived at home while I went to school. I had no business taking out student loans. Granted, in England, they're a lot smaller. So it's probably $4,000 a year in student loans. But I didn't use any of that for school. I spent it on traveling.
And you regret that?
Yeah, because then I had to pay off the balance. And did I pay off the balance? No. I was that kid who got a job abroad, emigrated abroad, and ignored my financial responsibility in the home country. I don't know what that ended up being because my parents graciously paid off most of it.
Oh, you were so lucky.
Yes.
So then why do you regret it? You got to travel and someone else paid the loan balance off.
Well, that was the regret. I made someone else pay for it, and I wasn't fiscally responsible. All right, those are the longer questions. Now we're going to go into rapid fire questions, and it has to be a quick answer off the bat, no thinking. Are you ready?
Go.
All right. Gold or silver?
Gold.
Porsche or Ferrari?
Ferrari.
Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Milk.
Roth IRA or Roth 401k?
Roth IRA.
Coast fire or full retirement? Coast fire is you're still working, you're not saving anymore.
Coast.
CPA or CFP?
CPA.
Arizona or Utah?
Arizona.
Congratulations, you passed the round.
The Coast Fire one, the fire one was the hardest. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Arizona or Illinois?
Illinois, true and true.
Football or basketball?
Football.
Luxury travel or luxury cars?
Luxury cars.
Ooh. Would you rather a client be a shopaholic or a day trader?
I'm going to kill them both. Day trader would probably last longer before I kill them both.
So you would rather them be a day trader?
Sure.
NFT or Dogecoin?
Dogecoin.
AI for tax advice or AI for investment advice? I know I made these really hard for you. You wanted to do it.
AI for investment advice.
Your Jordans or video games? Or Jordans or video games. You can only buy one.
Can I act this one out? Video games all day.
No, you're going to do the
Now I
rest.
got one. Let's do one.
Oh my God.
You're taking your shoe?
All right, video games. All right.
All right. Oh, hold on. I got to get my shoe back on, Luke.
All right, so I have a little bow that the reason I wanted to do this podcast episode, well, it was your idea. I'll give you that. But I agreed to it, is I wanted listeners to see how wildly personal financial planning is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe people think we're more different, but not really. Like my circumstances are completely different than yours because Alex doesn't get a pension.
Sure.
I'm not getting some wildly big inheritances either, or I don't know if they're big. I shouldn't say that, but I'm not getting inheritances that I'm expecting, right? So our circumstances are different. I also have a husband that is 14 years older than me, and younger kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it also impacts like, what are your money scripts? What is your money behavior? I just think it is so personal. There's a reason it's called personal financial planning. All right. The other thing I want to say is figure out what you want in life. I think there's a lot of comparison, and that's the thief of joy. What's going to make you the happiest with your money is figuring out what you want, and don't give a fluff what other people think, how people are going to judge you. It is what you want. That is what is going to bring you the most happiness. That's it. And build your finances around that.
You know how you say that's it and then you add more onto it?
All the time.
All the time. Ladies and gentlemen, you have learned a lot about us in this episode. We could go on for hours. We are actually going to cut our episode there because that's our time. So, as an outro, thank you for listening to this episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. If you want to find us more, we're every audio platform, every video platform. Our website is at playbookotw.com. Send us a message at helloplaybookotw.com. And we'll see you next time.
We love your questions. Please send them in. Toodles!
All opinions expressed by Dave Grant and Heather Townsend are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the views of their respective wealth management firms. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Nothing in this material constitutes a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Clients of Retirement Matters and Townsend Financial may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.